And so I actually wanted to make this video at the 1 year mark, 12 months of being sober. And I also wanted to make a video on um, what I learned in my 30 years of being alive, which both happened around the same time. Just never really got around to doing it. But I think this time is as good as any to start speaking on it. So, first of all, my sobriety was somewhat forced, even though there have been times in my life where I had gone sober for months at a time, maybe even a year at one point. I don't know if it was a year. In fact, I know for a fact that the streak that I'm on right now, which will likely remain for the rest of my life, is the longest it's been since I was like 15 years old. Um, which is it's crazy to think, but it is my reality. And the reason why it was somewhat forced is because like a lot of you know, I ended up in the hospital from matters of depersonalization, and this was brought on by perhaps a combination of drinking and smoking. And it really sucks because not only were people in my ear telling me to stop drinking, my child's mother, but also I kept telling myself to stop, to stop smoking for real, because my body stopped responding well to it, smoking weed. So it was a bit forced for me, but I knew that right then and there that the change was going to stick, that I was going to make that shift. What I didn't know is that I would still be dealing with depersonalization all this time after. So to still be dealing with uh, consequences of choices that I made uh, over a year and a half ago, it's um it's a bit deflating at times. But I keep waking up. I keep making strides towards a better life, and I mean I just don't give up, man. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. Yeah, I can't give up. You know, there's somebody looking up to me. There's somebody depending on me. Yo, what's up? And so I have to stay on this path. But if there's anything I learned from sobriety, it's I never needed to use the substances. Never did. And I used them to fill every little void that I had, and that turned into one of the biggest voids that I couldn't have even imagined, you know. And like a lot of people, I built my identity around the substances, and it dictated my life. You know, it was a part of my budget. It was a part of my schedule, part of my routine. Convinced me that life was better than what it really was. That's the thing. You got problems, you get high, you get drunk. What problems? Seem like there are no problems, but they always come back. And so that's not me speaking out against anybody who you get off from work and maybe you want to get drunk or maybe you want to get high. Maybe if you do it every day, and none of that's about you. It's about me. And flat out, I could say that I wish I never did it. I never needed it. You know, there are a lot of people, whether introverted, extroverted, life of the party, whatever it may be, they could enjoy their lives without any substances. And I hate that I had to go through so much bullshit to get to that point. Let me see. Why were you doing drugs to begin with? If no, I don't mind. Who knows, man? That's actually a great question. Well, all my friends were doing it, so I was kind of I won't say I was late to the party because I was smoking and drinking at 15, 16, whatever. But everybody else around me was doing it, and it was a social thing. and they were having fun, and my curiosity is always gets the best of me. Um, and so I just started doing it. It was a lot of fun, and I mean I had seen my mom do it a lot when we were kids, and it was a thing. More so with the drinking for her. I never saw her smoking or anything like that, but I mean, I don't know. It was around, you know. Who knows what happened if crack was around or something? I don't know, you know. Uh, and and also, I mean, there's a part of me where I don't know if it's hereditary or what, but there's definitely a part of me that has an addictive personality, which could be a good thing, but as I found in my life, it's been very bad. You know, when I get into a habit of doing something, now I start waking up, and the first thing I do is smoke or drink, or both, and let that burn me out, and I go back to sleep after 3 hours being awake, and I mean, just what a waste of a life, you know. So yeah, I do have some regret about that, but as I'm starting to form into something new and trying to build a greater pillar about myself, uh, try to solidify what it means to be me, even if it's somewhat fluid. Um, I'm realizing that I can go around people who drink and smoke, and it doesn't bother me. Or like, I used to try to get drunk as fast as possible, whether if I'm drunk before I get there, or try to get drunk as soon as I get there to drown all the nerves. I used to do that, and so and like when I go to social settings now, I am still a little bit reserved and shy and things like that. But I am able to be okay. You know, it all goes into my practice of trying to practice how I'm going to play. So I try to bring who I am out into the world, and because I have to sit with myself more than anybody else, I have to get to know myself. I got to know my strengths. I got to know where my confidence is going to come from. You know, I have to I have to know me, and I bring that out into the world, and that makes me a lot more comfortable in social settings. See, they weren't your friends. You thought they were your friends. If they were your true friends, some would lead you to the right path. But that's the thing. A lot of us, and I disagree, because a lot of us, we really didn't have role models. This is not me being around adults and they were doing these things. We were the same age, and I was slightly older than some of them. Um, and the reason why I can say that some of them are, I mean, the reason why I can say they are my true friends, I mean, obviously, a lot of those people I don't hang out with, but some of them I've known since I was 5 years old, 5 years old, 7 years, 8 years, still the same thing. And when I say still the same thing, I got a little ahead of myself, but still have a great connection. Some of them I still I talk to them frequently throughout the week. Um, of at 30 years old, there's you would imagine that there's no peer pressure, and there's no peer pressure. Nobody breaks my balls about it. You know, nobody's ever made fun about fun of me about it. Just encouraging, because it's tough to make a sacrifice like leaving substances behind when they give you this warm feeling. They give you a feeling of content. And when life is so stressful, it's like, what do you turn to? And I mean, of course, I can name quite a few options because it's what I rely on. But even sometimes, man, after I don't know, just one of those days, still want something that rivals drinking and smoking or whatever. And yes, I do work out, I work out a lot, so I definitely have that for me. What state are you in? Okay. Yeah, I'm in Maryland right now. Pretty much grew up here. So no, I don't. I'm not too far away. Not too far away. What's that? 6 hours or so? I don't know. Um, and so being on both sides of having a spending a great deal of time drinking and smoking, then being in a position where I am right now, where actually, and that's the thing about depersonalization. I can't even say that I'm having the true sober effect, but I'm not doing substances. I can't even have caffeine. Sometimes I try to drink a tea or whatever, but a day like today, man, it didn't. I didn't respond well to it. And so I drink chamomile tea. But what was I saying? Substances, sober. Ah, well, it'll come back to me. But anyway, there's more consistency with my mood, even as I'm battling anxiety, depersonalization. I don't go off the rails like I used to. Like I literally had Homeland Security looking for me because I had alcohol in me, and that wouldn't allow for me to keep my mouth shut. Even with Homeland Security in front of me, that didn't stop me. You know, and I'm glad that it didn't turn anything worse than that. But I have more consistency with my mood. I'm able to be more um, diplomatic, more mild mannered. Not looking for a fight out of everything, and not having problems that stem from substances is an underrated perk. You know, because I definitely rubbed some people the wrong way with that, including my child's mother. So, I was very apologetic about that, but I decided to make the change, and so I did. And oh yeah, so what I was going to say was being on both sides of using substances and being sober. I see, I see people trying to hide. I understand why. I'm not picking on anybody, but I can see it. I and I'm not saying if you use substances, that's what you're doing. Maybe that is the case, but I definitely see it in some people, and the reason why they call alcohol liquid courage, and we use these substances as a means to feel brave. And I have been forced to find bravery solely from my will. Now, if you never dealt with depersonalization before, it feels like you're having a bad trip, but all the time, you know, basically until it's gone. You're kind of in a dream state. You constantly question if these things are real, and the things that you feel in your body, the sensations, the pains. Now, while you may have felt them before you develop depersonalization, they feel completely different. You know, I have to convince myself that, oh, that's just the sun hitting me. That's not my body burning up. That's the sun burning me like it always has. That's just a shower. It's the water is hot. That's not my body. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my body feels tight from being in the shower. It doesn't feel tight because I'm having a heart attack. You know, all those things I have to fight through and relearn. Feel it as it happens, and just be convinced that I'm not dying from it, you know. And you get your blood work and they come back fine, everything's fine, and you wonder if they missed something. But ultimately, you learn how to trust it. Now, I didn't mean to make this about depersonalization, but I mean it's a big part. It's a big part of my life, you know. Like this past weekend, just a couple days ago, I was helping somebody move, and my body was just not responding well to it at all. And I wanted to freak out, and I wanted to quit, and I wanted to be like, oh, I don't think I could do this, because I really thought I was having a heart attack, man. It will always trick you into believing that. But I stuck it out, and everything went back to normal, or my normal. And so it's behind me. But because I went through that, as I talk about facing things without substances, it may be temporary or it may be a part of the ultimate change that I make in life, but it did bring some confidence. It made me feel more comfortable with discomfort, because I'm like, you know, that it didn't wipe me out. I wasn't having a heart attack at all, you know? And so when I talk about making changes, it's not just me cutting stuff out. I add things to my quality of life, like I was talking about in the video I just made about New Year's resolutions. And so, you know, right now it's nothing. But if your fear is something heart related, then start making healthier choices for the sake of your heart. You know, and so that's what I started doing, making sure that I do drink more water on top of working out, and taking these vitamins and these supplements, and eating cleaner, being more intentional, eating intuitively, not overeating, you know. I want to make these gains and stuff like that, but I won't do it at the risk of my health, you know. Um, so to speak more on what I've learned through my sobriety is, I mentioned how I wasted a lot of time doing these substances, and uh, there are a lot of events that I can't really recall because I was so fucked up. There's a lot of time you can't get back, and no, no doubt about it. I probably got a great, a good maybe even 60 years ahead of me, but I got the rest of my life ahead of me, and I want to get something out of it. I want quality. I don't want to use the YOLO rhetoric. I want to look back on my life and be glad that something like depersonalization came, because that did trigger some changes in my life, definitely some positive ones. And I think because of that, I will be a better man, and I gotta be a better father. It's one of the main reasons why I can't give up, man. That sacrifice. And so, if you feel like you need to make changes for the sake of yourself, for the sake of the people around you, you have to. It's like a hero's mission, is that you must make ultimate sacrifices to benefit others, to benefit the people who love you, to benefit the people who count on you, to benefit yourself, to change your overall quality of life, because you're worth it, you know? And apparently, there's a lot that I can say on this subject. I don't want to speak for too long, but I'm glad I was able to get this message out. And if you do want to get sober, man, I definitely recommend it. And just hit me up if you want to talk about it. It's all good, man. So, see you on the other side.